Hi, this is New Time on Silkway TV channel. We introduce you with the most visible news and important events that happen throughout this week in Kazakhstan and Central Asia. More details on politics, economy, social and cultural life with opinions from the most recognizable experts of Kazakhstan and world. I'm Anuri Mangali and this is what you'll see today. Kazakhstan to cooperate with Taliban. Is that a real politic and what can be the next to be scenario? World Bank forecasts slowdown of the global economy in 2024. What to expect in Central Asia? Korean Songwon Sup, who is famous for performing in Kazakh, has come to Astana with his personal concert and did not miss a chance to visit New Time studio. Our exclusive interview with an artist. And let me start from political appointments this week. The representative of Kazakhstan, Marat Sizdikov, has taken up the role of the chairman of the Permanent Council of the Collective Security Treaty Organization. It was announced during the first meeting of the CSTO Permanent Council meeting in 2024 held in Moscow. This year, the chairmanship of the organization has shifted from Belarus to Kazakhstan. Earlier, President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev outlined the key priorities during the country's leadership in the CSTO. According to him, Kazakhstan aims to continue its collaboration with the United Nations and its structures, the Commonwealth of Independent States and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The head of state also noted that Kazakhstan's chairmanship will place special emphasis on the counter-terrorism aspect of the collective security system. Basically, in 2024, Kazakhstan will experience a notably dynamic year in terms of international cooperation. Apart from its involvement in the CSTO, Kazakhstan is engaged in 3 other significant integration projects within the Eurasian region. Starting this year, Kazakhstan also assumed the chairmanship of the Organization of Turkic States with commitment to promote Turkic unity under the motto Turk Time. Until June 2024, the country will hold a leading position in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Additionally, within the EAEU framework, Kazakhstan has taken the chairmanship of the board of the Eurasian Economic Commission. Kazakhstan has removed the Taliban from its register of prohibited terrorist organizations. Officials of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs noted that the decision was made in strict accordance with the resolutions of the United Nations. To be exact, the Taliban has not been classified as a terrorist organization by UN Security Council. In our explainer section, Dauren Isagulov researched the origins of the organization, trying to answer what is the modern Taliban and what Central Asian countries should do about it.
The word Taliban comes from Arabic language and stands for students. However, from early 90s, this word is strongly associated with new radical movement emerged in northern Pakistan following the withdrawal of Soviet troops from Afghanistan. This movement declared one goal: power and enforcement of their own austere version of Islamic law all over the Afghan lands. In 1996, militants of the Taliban managed to seize the capital, Kabul, overthrowing the legal regime for 5 years. Intervention of international coalition led to the fall of Taliban in 2001. 20 years later, Afghanistan once again has found itself in the middle of global attention. In 2021, Taliban took control of all of Afghanistan, something they had not managed to do in their first stint in power. The new generation of Taliban authorities is not much different from the first one, said political scientist Alisher Ilhamov, adding that the difference is that Taliban today is trying to adapt in modern global order.
They have learned, and the most recent development is that they have taken control of Kabul, of the government, and so now over maybe I think it's the last year or two they're becoming more concerned about the national development of their country. So it's becoming adopting the more peaceful agenda because as a kind of ruling party, they have to deliver. They have to provide some livelihood to the people, economic development, national development as a general. So have to, because of this kind of new agenda, they becoming more kind of acting more constructively.
The expert emphasized that despite the Taliban's updated views on international relations, the core of ideology hasn't changed at all. It's still an ultra-conservative interpretation of Islamic law. For today, the Taliban regime in Afghanistan is not recognized by any of the UN member states. The biggest obstacle is discrimination against women and fundamental human rights. Mahbouba Siraj, Afghan journalist, Nobel Peace Prize nominee and women's rights activist, refused to flee Afghanistan in 2021. She insists that life under the Taliban rule is drastically different from the image that new government is trying to deliver to the world.
The things that are the main issues that we are dealing right now in Afghanistan. We are dealing with poverty. We are dealing with the winter that is here and we don't have any food. We are dealing with women and girls above the 6th grade that can't go to school. We are dealing for the hospitals that don't have any proper staff of nursing nor women doctors to look after everybody. We are dealing with women cannot walk on the streets alone. They have to have a mahram that they can go around with. We're dealing with a lot of hardship. We're dealing with a kind of a darkness that has wrapped around us completely.
Kazakhstan put the Taliban on the list of banned terrorist organizations in 2005. The political expert Gaziz Abishov is convinced that the current decision of removing the Taliban from this list is a pragmatic approach commonly known as a realpolitik. According to him, national interests demand to establish relations with Afghanistan, considering the political reality in which the Taliban is the sole representative of the country.
And we have to have the direct line of communication and negotiation with this political party, because there are a lot of difficult issues on the table. For example, trade routes from Central Asia to Indian Ocean through territory of Afghanistan, and also water problems. As we know, Afghanistan controls some water that is going to Central Asia.
The latest example of the Kostipa canal, which they started building on the northern part of Afghanistan, which represent kind of both bad news and good news for Central Asia. The bad news because they taking water from Amudarya, which will be probably the trigger the water crisis, the crisis of water supply in our countries.
And the water supply is not the only crucial issue that Kazakhstan has to deal with Afghanistan on the official level. Security issues in Central Asia is also something that has to be discussed with the Taliban government.
We need to to have enough clout to convince Afghan authority to control extremist groups. So that's a lot of issues on the table, and we have to have enough opportunity to influence the government of Afghanistan.
For many years, Kazakhstan remains a vital trade partner of Afghanistan. In 2023, trade turnover reached almost $1 billion, according to the Kazakh Ministry of Trade. Besides, trade with Kabul is also considered as a support of Afghan people. 70% of Kazakhstan's flour export goes to the country. Experts concluded that even though Afghanistan is still a state with high internal political risks, all the neighboring countries are obligated to maintain some level of cooperation for the good of their own people. Daurian Sagulov, New Time.
Now, moving on to economic news, the World Bank has released a monthly report with economic forecast to the year 2024. A global economic slowdown up to 2.4% is forecasted in 2024. Developed economies are expected to slow to 1.2%, and economies of emerging markets, according to the report, will decrease from 4% to 3.9%. Kazakhstan can also experience a slight slowing in economic growth, experts noted, from 4.5% in 2023 to 4.3% in 2024. And now I'm joined by World Bank's lead country economist and program leader for equitable growth, finance and institutions in Central Asia, David Knight. David, thank you for sharing your time with us. My first question is about World Bank's forecast for the global economy in 2024. There is expected a slight slowdown. What are the major factors that will influence this process?
Thank you. Yes, indeed, that's right. We do expect global growth to fall a little this year, from 2.6% last year to 2.4% this year. While it's not a very large reduction in growth, it is still a concern because this would mark the third consecutive year that the global economy has slowed down, whereas we had hoped that the global economy would be picking up again by now. There is, though, also a positive angle to this, which is that growth in 2023 has actually been stronger than the World Bank had previously expected. We estimate global growth last year to have been 2.6% and stronger than previous expectations. And this is especially due to households and firms spending more out of their savings buffers last year, a more resilient risk appetite, as well as expansionary fiscal policy and robust labor markets in some cases, most notably in the United States. On the other hand, growth in the euro area, which was very flat at only 0.4% last year, is expected to improve this year.
If you talk about economies of Kazakhstan and Central Asian region, it demonstrated a stable growth in 2023, but what is the projections for 2024? And again, what will influence economic growth in the region?
Thank you. Yes, growth in Central Asia and Kazakhstan has been relatively good last year. And this year, we expect Central Asia to continue to experience relatively good growth, albeit slightly lower. Still high commodity prices, resilient consumer spending amid cooling inflation, and sustained export growth, particularly thanks to rising oil production capacity in Kazakhstan, are expected to support growth. But significant uncertainties remain for this year. A resurgence in energy prices may yield potential benefits to energy exporting economies like Kazakhstan and Turkmenistan in Central Asia, but adversely affect others. And elevated uncertainty could tighten financial conditions further, hampering investment and consumption.
And if talk globally, this year might be quite challenging for the world economies, but we can see a slight reboot in 2025. Again, what kind of patterns can we highlight in forecasting economic growth, not only 2025?
Indeed, as we move towards 2025, we expect that the picture will begin to improve. By this time, we anticipate that the global economy will have progressed through the cycle of monetary tightening, inflation will be more under control, and economic recovery will be firming up across the globe. This is especially the case in the euro area, but we also expect recovery in some other, although not all, large economies. In the EU, growth is projected to more than double in 2025 to 1.6%, supported by a recovery in investment, especially as the EU's next generation EU fund lifts public investment. In China, we expect growth to fall somewhat further in 2025 to 4.3%, as potential growth continues to slow amid mounting debt that constrains investment, demographic headwinds, and the narrowing opportunities for productivity catch up. We expect global trade to gain momentum both this year and in 2025, following the exceptional weakness we saw last year. And oil prices are expected to edge down in 2024 and then remain stable as global activity slows and China's economy continues to decelerate. An escalation in terms of risks and escalation of the conflict in the Middle East is a major upside risk to oil prices, and further extensions of production cuts by OPEC Plus beyond the expected phase out of cuts in the first quarter of 24, and stronger than expected demand could also result in higher prices of oil.
David, thank you very much for your answers. David Knight from the World Bank joined us from Tashkent today. Let's continue. New York Times featured Almaty as one of the top travel destinations in 2024. According to the magazine, Kazakhstan's largest city has the feel of a peaceful but active rural town. Notably, Almaty is the only representative from Central Asia in this ranking. My colleague Balzhan Samigulina learned all other world rankings and spoke to the industry players in Kazakhstan to know what are the plans for the local tourism development for this year.
Kazakhstan continues to gain international recognition, securing a spot on the editor's hot list 2024 by British Wanderlust travel magazine. The growing interest is substantiated by figures. According to the Bureau of National Statistics, the first 9 months of last year saw a nearly 40% increase, with over 835,000 tourist arrivals. Notably, Kazakhstan is increasingly chosen by visitors from Russia, China, Turkey, India and the US as their preferred travel destination.
In 2023, Skyway Travel facilitated the visit of over 17,000 foreign guests to Kazakhstan. This once again solidified our position as the leading DMC in Central Asia. Our focus particularly lies in the cultural hub of Kazakhstan, which is Almaty, and it played a pivotal role in orchestrating these experiences for that many people.
Earlier, Kazakhstan exempted foreign tourists from taxes, implementing a zero rate. Plans for this year include expanding the current top 10 destinations to a top 20 list, with each region of Kazakhstan focusing on specific areas for collaborative development with local governments. Additionally, the country aims to further develop ecotourism, particularly in Almaty and Mangostau regions.
Kazakhstan, as a developing destination, is on track to reach its goals. One of the major goals is to improve infrastructure. And of course, given the territory of Kazakhstan, vast spaces in between destinations, that's a difficult task sometimes to achieve. But what we think should be happening in the years to come is focused attention from the central government on priority destinations.
Kazakhstan also attracts not only ecotourism but also those seeking romantic experiences. Paul and Kritika, a couple from India, have chosen Kazakhstan as the destination for their honeymoon.
My husband and I, we got recently married in December last year, and we wanted a place to spend our honeymoon. And I wanted a colder place, and he wanted a very modern and futuristic place. So it was his choice that we go to Kazakhstan, and we're here to spend our honeymoon for the week.
Engineer newlyweds explored Almaty and Astana during their honeymoon, marveling at Kazakhstan's engineering achievements. The couple also savored the rich cultural gastronomy and admired the unique landscapes that the country has to offer.
Almaty ranks way higher. I think it should come in the top 5 destinations of the world. And I live in San Francisco, but I would say Almaty is as good as any American city across the, it's better than any American city that I've seen in quite a bit. I don't regret one moment because, to be honest, in one word, I would say it was mesmerizing, the whole Kazakh experience. And I would recommend anyone who's planning their honeymoon to come to Kazakhstan.
I feel that there is a perfect balance of people from all directions, and it's very tourist friendly and very environment friendly, I must say. 1 week won't be enough, 1 week won't be sufficient. There's a lot more to explore in Kazakhstan, and I'm sure we'll be back for more.
Kazakhstan has plans to roll out more than 125 tourism projects by 2025 with the goal of boosting tourism influx. The goal is to welcome 12 million travelers annually, including 2.5 million international guests. The country is on the track to reach it. Balzhan Samigulina, Nurbalat Askerbekov, Silkvi TV channel, Astana.
Kazakhstan will develop its own tourist brand this year. It is expected that the logo in the country's positioning strategy in the global tourism market will be presented as early as April 2024, said Vice Minister of Tourism and Sports Yerzhan Yerkinbayev in an interview to The New Time. By 2025, the authorities aim to increase the number of tourists to 12 million, while 2.5 million being foreign visitors. Does Kazakhstan have sufficient resources for this goal? What measures are being taken to promote the development of the tourism industry? Watch a fragment of the interview right now.
Yerzhan Malkovich, thank you very much for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you here. Let me start from this question. Does Kazakhstan have its own tourist brand? How do we position ourselves for foreign tourists?
Okay, very nice question, actually. Every part of our history and every piece of our land could be a brand because of a very rich diversity of different facts, historical facts, very rich culture and very different landscapes. We have tulips and we have apples and everything. Because of this huge diversity, we still, through many years, still don't have a brand like a brand, like a logo. So we have many opinions, but still no one common, which is a synthesis of all the ideas. So we decided this year to start with, we will invite a team of people who are interested to take part in this discussion. We will generate some, 10, 20 facts that should be reflected in the brand. And by March, maybe April, we decided to present several variations of the brand already reflected, designed, and presented to the people. So we hope that this year we'll start with the brand finally.
May I ask you how much funding has been allocated for tourism development in 2023?
We have here we have two different directions. First is a marketing. The budget allocated for marketing is 1.5 billion tenge, which is close to 3 million US. This is for pure marketing, a budget which is allocated for Kazakh Tourism National Company to promote the country. And we have another budget which is allocated by the mayor's offices of each region for the tourism. So if we take that one, it includes salaries and everything of which is related to the tourism department of each mayor's office. I think it's around 10 billion tenge for whole country. But it includes everything, events and promotion and videos and taking part in the fairs all around the world and traveling expenses and everything. So the figures are like that. But we should talk more about marketing. 1.5 billion tenge, 3 million US is really a small figure. So that's why for this year we decided that we will change the legislation in terms of we have a fund, a foundation for development of sport and tourism industry, but historically it financed only projects in sports. So now we're putting tourism as well. So big projects like big concerts, fests, or it might be a gastrofest or big shows can be financed through that foundation. So next year, additionally to the marketing budget that allocated in the ministry, we will have the sources from the foundation, and the foundation is being popped up by the withdrawals from non-budget funds.
These numbers you mentioned, is it enough? Is it sufficient?
No, it's not. It's absolutely not in the today's situation, because after the pandemic happened, every country which is willing to promote tourism or which is fighting for the international tourists, they're aggressively increasing the budgets, especially promotion budgets. So we're still in a very low level, but hopefully, and we have already a concept approval of the government that this year we will be having more budgets, 1.5 billion tenge, which has been approved 3 years ago. But this year we think to get, we will request and we get additional budgets for the tourism.
And last but not least, I believe our country government aims to increase the number of foreign tourists to 10 million by 2025. What is the strategy to achieve this goal?
Actually, by 2025 it was 12.5 million and 2.5 million of foreign tourists and 9.5 million of local tourists. In total it's 12.5. But what are the steps? First, we're a free visa country for more than 80 countries now. You're listing 80 very well developed countries, and we're open for them. Second, we have 30 countries with the direct air flight connection. It gives you 120 flights and 120 routes with 600 flights a week, so which is very good. And now we're opening a sky. Maybe you've heard that some weeks ago there was a news that we have a completely fifth level of open sky, which means another air companies can come to the country, to Kazakhstan. And if before we used to have a restriction, they are welcome to fly to Kazakhstan, but not the routes where we already, Air Astana, our national airline, is already working. So now we have cancelled this restriction. So, and as a result, we see, for example, Air Asia, one of the biggest low-costing air firms. They are coming to Kazakhstan, connecting not only Almaty with Kuala Lumpur, but they have in very short plans, to connect all big cities of Kazakhstan with major touristic destinations of the world. It doesn't matter Kuala Lumpur, Singapore, China, or Gulf countries. So very welcoming plans for international airlines. But at the same time, of course, we have to improve promotion. As I said, the budgets for promotion should be increased. We have a free visa regime for China, which is neighboring to us, and it's a huge market. You know, all countries are fighting for Chinese tourists because of many reasons, and we're very close. We're open for India, of course, Russia, Europe, and we have free visa for Iran, which is 45 minutes flight from Aktau, and Aktau is another beautiful destination that we have. So I can list them. So we have a clear plan to act for.
Kazakhstan keeps growing its cooperation with Turkey, evolving from an investment partner to a strategic ally, reads Turkey's Daily Sabah. Kazinform international news agency collected all the important headlines of foreign press about Kazakhstan this week. Let's have a look on it. Turkey's Daily Sabah published an article on January 9th discussing Kazakhstan's cooperation with Turkey. Kazakhstan has evolved from a stable investment partner to a strategic ally for Turkey, providing a crucial link in Central Asia with a diplomatic harmony fostering ongoing cooperation, writes Daily Sabah. It continues stressing that since the 1990s, one of the main goals of Turkish foreign policy has been to strengthen connections with Central Asia, enabling the smooth flow of commodities to Turkey and other global markets. This economic strategy led to the establishment of exceptionally close relations between Turkey and Kazakhstan. In 2022, the trade volume between Kazakhstan and Turkey surged to $6.3 billion, establishing Turkey as Kazakhstan's fourth largest trading partner. This economic collaboration is further underscored by Turkey's substantial direct investments in Kazakhstan's economy, which passed $5 billion and solidified Turkey's position among the top 10 investors in the country, reads the article. Caspian News reported on January 11th that Kazakhstan is accelerating its plans to develop 5G services. The 5G rollout is not only on track but ahead of schedule, just 10 months after the frequencies were issued to operators through a competitive auction held from March to December 2023, reads the article. The agency notes that President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev's commitment to advancing Kazakhstan's technological development has been a driving force behind the rapid development of 5G. In his address at the Digital Bridge Forum in October 2023, President Tokayev highlighted the imperative to accelerate the rollout of next-generation communication services to all regional centers by the close of 2025. President Tokayev underscored the importance of a comprehensive action, including potential legislative amendments, to turn this vision into reality, reads the article. The Japan News reported on January 10th that Japan's Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry has signed memorandums of cooperation with the governments of Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan in the area of decarbonization. Under the deal, inked Tuesday, Japan will supply renewable energy and energy-saving technologies to the two Central Asian countries, both heavily dependent on thermal power generation. Read the article. That's it for the press review this week. We will continue following the most interesting and important media coverage on Kazakhstan and this region. Korean artist Song Won-sap, who became famous in Kazakhstan for performing in Kazakh and using national instrument dombra in his songs, has arrived to Kazakh capital. The artist unveils his latest track, composed in Kazakh, as he gears up for tomorrow's concert in Astana. In an exclusive interview to The New Times, Song Won-sap discussed upcoming collaborations with Kazakh singers and even contemplated a brief move to Kazakhstan. Please watch the fragment of the interview.
What's up? Thank you very much for joining us today. I'm very pleased to have you here in our studio.
감사합니다. Thank you very much. Thanks for inviting me.
Let us start from your new song, Kharjavad, which is going to be presented at Astana's tomorrow concert. And let us watch a short extract of it in our studio, please. Let me start. What is this song about? Are you going to make a clip on it?
We have already produced a video clip in Japan, set against a picturesque snowy backdrop reminiscent of Astana. Tomorrow I'll be presenting the clip during my performance at the concert. The full video is scheduled for release next week.
What is special about this song for you?
This song is in Kazakh, and it's my first original composition in Kazakh language. I hope that the Kazakh audience will enjoy it.
As far as I know, it's already your 6th or 7th time giving concert in Kazakhstan in different cities of our country. Can we say about moving you here and always living here in our country?
솔직히 좀 했었어요. 왜냐면 제가 이제 한국에 있기 때문에
I had such thoughts, though not a permanent move. I would like to experience life in Kazakhstan. Considering my friends and close connections in Korea, a long-term move would be challenging. However, to immerse myself in Kazakh culture, I'm contemplating residing in Astana or Almaty for 3-6 months.
3개월, 6개월 정도는 한번 살면은 재밌을 것 같아요.
Can it happen this year?
I think possible.
Let us come back to your music and songs and covers that you sing. As far as I know, you have a song with Miraz Zhugunusov. Are you planning to make any other duet with the Kazakh singers?
저는 그러니까 제가 아까 그 전 얘기지만
This ties back to the earlier question about my interest in moving to Kazakhstan and residing here. I would like to foster collaboration because Kazakhstan is home to numerous talented and creative individuals.
콜라보레이션도 해보고 싶고 그래서 해보고 싶죠.
Thank you very much for joining us. Let us ask you to sing something for us on guitar at the end of our interview.
두골 쓴 귀타랍 저능 타르 바사 에 샤륵 타스 가이란 바스 가르 바스 고중도 준바이 가무 바스 가무 바스
What a wonderful final note to finish our program today. That's it. All the main news about Kazakhstan and Central Asia you can find here. More special projects about our country you can also watch on Silkway TV channel. So stay tuned and see you later.